Namaste. Welcome to this short breath practice. So this is just a little investigation into the different patterns of breath. And in a moment, we're going to lie down and do those, but I thought I would explain them first so that you can keep your eyes gently closed and absorb yourself into the practice. So when we do this practice, we first begin by just noticing our natural breath. So the breath that is there when you arrive on the mat, without changing it or deepening it or controlling it in any way. And that tells us a lot about how we're feeling and also can tell us a little bit about our how we feel physically as well as our state of mind. So we can begin to learn what our breath is telling us by becoming aware of it. And when we've done observing our natural breath for a moment or two, then we're going to begin circular breathing. So this is where you breathe in and breathe out without pause. So the breath makes a continuous circle. And that can be a very natural way of breathing for some people, and for others that will be a bit more of a challenge. The fact that it's a challenge is not something that stops us from doing it. It's quite good to get used to things that take us outside of our comfort zone occasionally. So even if it is a little bit challenging, just try to ease yourself into it. And once we've done circular breathing, we're going to do something I call crenellated breathing, where you breathe in and then breathe out and pause. So breathe in and out, continuous, and then a pause. Breathe in and out and pause, breathe in and out and pause. And so your breath follows this continuous pattern, but with a pause at the bottom of the breath, bottom of the exhalation. And again, we'll observe our reactions to this. And then we'll finally finish up with a square breath where we breathe in and pause and breathe out and pause. So the breath becomes square instead of circular, with a pause both at the top of the breath, at the top of the exhalation, and the bottom of the top of the inhalation, and bottom of the exhalation. So these are the three patterns of breath that we will investigate. And the important thing is just to relax and enjoy. So this could be done sitting up if you wanted to, but because we can lie down. So coming onto your mat, either sitting if you prefer, or if like me, you fancy giving it, making it a little bit more restful. I'm just wrapping my jumper around me as well. If you need to, you can take any support. You can have a bolster underneath the backs of the knees if you prefer to keep your legs long and straight, but that doesn't feel so comfortable without support under the knees. Or you can take Savasana proper like this. You can have your knees bent, your feet wide, knees leaning together if you like. Or simply knees upright, arms relaxed away from the side. This position we call constructive rest, or half Shavasana, half relaxation pose. Whichever position you're in, making sure you're warm, taking a blanket, some cozy socks if you want to. Allowing your body a moment when you come into the position you're going to hold, just to find your way onto the mat. Letting the body organize itself. Find the new parts that are in contact with the floor and release down there. And then becoming aware of your natural breath. So the breath that you are doing now without thinking, without controlling. If you can, during this practice, keeping your eyes closed, because it allows us to focus better on where we're directing our awareness. Notice the sensations of your breath, the movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe, the coolness of air as it comes into the nostrils, the warmth of the breath as it leaves the body. Notice the rate and the rhythm of your breath. And the depth of your breath, where your breath is moving in your body. And there's no right or wrong or judgment here. It's just a simple observation. Take a moment to make sure your face is relaxed. If you need to, you can just simply swallow, relaxing the tongue and the jaw, feeling the forehead soften, the area around the eyes relax. And then you may need to deepen your breath to do it, but allowing your breath to fall into a circular pattern, continuous inhalation and exhalation. Continuous breath, breath like a circle. Some people like to visualize that. Breathing without pausing. The continuous flow of the breath in and out of the body. And as you breathe like this, notice if it feels comfortable, if it feels awkward, if it feels like you have to concentrate to be able to do it, or if once you've found your rhythm, it feels quite natural. Again, there's no judgment, it's just an observation. And notice too if you have tension in your shoulders, your neck, your throat, your face. See if you can soften it for the last few circular breaths. And then at the end of your next exhalation, just pause gently, just for a moment, less than a second perhaps, before breathing in, allowing your inhalation to flow directly into exhalation, continuous movement, and a pause at the bottom of the breath. Breathing in, continuing without pause to breathe out. And just a moment, a touch of stillness at the bottom of your exhalation before breathing in again. And here, noticing your reaction to the breath. Noticing any physical changes in the body, maybe tension in the shoulders or the chest, across the face. Soften those areas of holding where you find them. And continue to allow your breath to follow this crenellated pattern, breathing in and breathing out, continuously pausing at the bottom of the breath. Notice if it feels natural and comfortable, or slightly controlled and awkward, or somewhere in between. Notice the internal dialogue, particularly if it's saying, how much longer are we doing this for? Tell it to be quiet. And then on your next breath, pausing at the top of your inhalation, so breathing in and pausing just briefly, and then breathing out and pausing at the bottom of the breath, a square breath. The pauses don't have to be the same length as your inhale and exhale. I suppose it's more of a rectangular breath. If it helps, you can visualize this breath, or you can stay in your mind, breathing in, pause, breathing out, pause, something of that nature. When you find your rhythm, notice your reaction to this breath. Notice if you have any changes in how you feel, or that internal dialogue. Is it feeling more natural, more comfortable? Or is it feeling more awkward? Do you have to really concentrate to control it? Notice if you've got any holding or tension in the body, the shoulders, the chest, the face. If you need to, just swallow once, relax the tongue, the jaw. Let the forehead soften. The shoulders relax. At the end of your next exhalation, allowing your breath to just find its own pattern without control. Or you might like to take a few cleansing breaths. So it can be useful when we've done work like this to exhale through the mouth occasionally. So deep breath in, and then sighing. You might want to repeat that one more time. And as you sigh, just relaxing your face, letting the chest, the throat soften and release. So from our natural spontaneous breath, which we're going to observe for a few moments, we're going to go through those 3 patterns of breathing again. See if it's a little easier this time. So observing the breath you find, you are naturally breathing right now. And note any changes. Maybe it's just a little bit longer, a little bit deeper. When you're ready, making your breath continuous. So breathing in without pausing, breathing out without pausing, breathing in, and continuing, letting the breath find this circular pattern. Noticing this time how comfortable and natural it feels, or noticing your reaction if it is not feeling comfortable and natural. Softening any tension from the face, the shoulders, the chest when you find it. Observing. Changing your pattern of breath at the bottom of your next exhalation, just taking a light pause, just a moment. Then breathing in, breathing out in a continuous flow, pausing only at the bottom of the breath. Breathing in and out, continuous flow, pausing at the bottom of the breath. When you find your rhythm, notice again, notice any reaction. We tend to be very aware of the things that we don't enjoy. So notice if you don't enjoy it. It doesn't mean that you can stop, unless it's really irritating you. Try to find some softness here. This crenellated pattern of breath is how most people breathe, not everyone, how most people breathe when they are not paying attention. Taking one final moment to release tension from the face, the shoulders, the jaw. And on your next breath, changing your pattern into that square or rectangle shaped breath. Breathing in and pausing at the top of the breath. Breathing out and pausing at the bottom of the breath. Breathing in and pausing briefly. Breathing out and pausing briefly. Not even a count of one. Find this new pattern of breath. And actually, if your pauses are a little longer, that's okay. If you find that pattern, notice if it's more comfortable, more natural feeling. Perhaps this round it feels easier than it did last time. Soften the features of the face, relax the jaw, the tongue, the chest, the shoulders. And if this is a very natural way of breathing for you, you might find that you can extend those paused sensations between the two parts of the breath. That's not a necessary thing. But if you want to explore with a slightly longer pause, absolutely go ahead. And then at the end of your next exhalation, simply allowing your breath to fall into its natural rhythm. Bring a little bit of movement to the fingers, maybe to the wrists, rolling the wrists a little. Maybe bring a little bit of movement to the legs. Doesn't matter if they're long or bent, just swaying from side to side, either the feet or the knees. And taking a stretch through the body, stretching anything that needs stretching. Maybe yawning if you need to. And when you're ready, you can bend your knees in. Make any movements that feel good as you begin to sort of waken the body more up for movement. And then rolling onto one side, taking a breath there. And coming up into sitting when you're ready. As you come up into sitting, just allowing your body to find a comfortable spot. Let the spine organize itself, the body organize itself too, and absorb the effect of that practice. So there'll be a particular breath pattern that feels the most natural to you. But in our yoga practice, we use all of these breath patterns. So it's useful to be able to become familiar with them and to find a sense of ease with them. Just as when we start any new practice, that can take some practice. So do come back to this video, practice again, or take this into your daily practice a few minutes before or after your physical yoga asana. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will offer you namaste. Thank you for joining me. See you again.